Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the window of Lunar Base Alpha, her weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as she watched Earth rotate slowly in the distance. 20 years of service in the United Earth Space Force hadn't prepared her for the reports sitting on her desk. First contact had gone catastrophically wrong. The Meridian research vessel had been conducting routine stellar cartography near the edge of explored space when they encountered the Scytheri ships. Initial attempts at communication seemed promising. The aliens responded to mathematical sequences and simple pictograms. But something went terribly wrong during the cultural exchange protocols. "Play it again," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the horror she felt each time she watched the footage. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the final transmission from the Meridian. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the ERS Meridian." The recording began, static crackling through the audio. "The Scytheri vessels have opened fire without warning. Our diplomatic signals are being ignored. Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. We're not equipped for this kind of." The transmission cut off in a burst of static. Long-range sensors had recorded the destruction of the Meridian. The Scytheri ships had methodically torn the research vessel apart, ignoring all attempts at surrender. Of the 200 crew members aboard, there were no survivors. Chen turned from the window as General Marcus Hayes entered her office. His usually pristine uniform was wrinkled, suggesting he'd been up all night like she had. "The Security Council has reached a decision," Hayes announced without preamble. "Project Sentinel has been approved. You'll have whatever resources you need." Chen nodded grimly. Project Sentinel had been her proposal, the construction of humanity's first true warship. Not the patrol vessels or armed research ships they'd been using, but a proper military vessel designed to project power across interstellar distances. "The Scytheri left us a message after destroying the Meridian," Chen said, activating another hologram. Alien symbols scrolled across the display. "Our linguistics team finished the translation an hour ago. They called us prey species and warned us to remain in our system or face extinction." Hayes' jaw tightened. "They think we're cattle to be penned in." "They think we're weak," Chen corrected. "And perhaps by their standards we are. But they don't understand humanity. We don't accept limitations imposed by others. We don't bow to threats." She pulled up the preliminary designs for Project Sentinel. The ship would be massive. Over 2 kilometers in length, it would incorporate every technological advancement humanity had developed over the past century, from antimatter power plants to quantum-entangled communications. Most importantly, it would carry weapons that could match anything the Scytheri had demonstrated. "How long?" Hayes asked. 5 years to complete construction. Another year for shakedown and crew training. The Scytheri gave us an ultimatum: stay in our system or die. In 6 years, we're going to give them our answer. Chen turned back to the window, watching the steady stream of ships moving between Earth and the lunar shipyards. Humanity had always looked to the stars with hope and wonder. Now they would look to them with determination and resolve. "We're not prey," she said softly, "and it's time the galaxy learned that." The next few months saw an unprecedented mobilization of Earth's industrial and scientific resources. The lunar shipyards were expanded to 3 times their original size. New manufacturing facilities were constructed throughout the solar system. The brightest minds in physics, engineering, and military science were recruited for the project. Chen practically lived in the shipyards, overseeing every aspect of the construction. The ship was taking shape, a sleek arrowhead design that balanced offensive capability with defensive systems. The main gun alone was larger than any spacecraft humanity had previously built, capable of accelerating projectiles to a significant fraction of light speed. The aliens thought they were sending us a warning. Chen mused one evening, watching crews install the massive armor plates that would protect the vessel's vital systems. Instead, they gave us a purpose: unity, drive, determination. They forced us to reach our full potential. She didn't know if humanity would win its first interstellar war, But she knew with absolute certainty that this Cathari would remember the day they dismissed humans as mere prey. The galaxy was about to learn a crucial lesson about underestimating humanity's resolve. The stars had once promised humanity a future of peaceful exploration and discovery. Now they promised something else, a test of humanity's strength and will to survive. Admiral Chen intended to ensure humanity passed that test, no matter the cost. 5 years of relentless work had transformed the lunar shipyards into a hive of activity that never slept. The HSS Defiant dominated the construction bay, its hull gleaming under the harsh industrial lights. At nearly 3 kilometers in length, it dwarfed every other ship humanity had ever built. Captain Maya Patel stood in the observation deck, watching the final calibration of the main weapon systems. She'd been selected from thousands of candidates to command humanity's first true warship, and the responsibility weighed heavily on her shoulders. Impressive, isn't it? Admiral Chen's voice came from behind her. The admiral had aged visibly over the past 5 years, the stress of overseeing Project Sentinel etched into the lines of her face. "It's more than impressive," Maya replied, turning to face her superior officer. "It's everything we are. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every drop of human ingenuity poured into one vessel." The Defiant represented a quantum leap in human technology. Its reactor core harnessed the power of artificial miniature stars. The computing systems utilized quantum processors that could process battle strategies faster than human thought. The armor incorporated self-repairing nanomaterials that could withstand impacts that would have vaporized older vessels. But the ship's true strength lay in its crew. 1,500 of humanity's finest, trained to operate as a single unit. They had spent the past year in simulators, preparing for every conceivable scenario they might face in alien space. "Final system checks are complete," Maya reported. "We're ready for launch." Chen nodded slowly. "The Cathari have been quiet these past years. Our long-range probes show them consolidating their positions along the border of their territory. They're waiting for us to make a move." "Then let's not keep them waiting," Maya said with a grim smile. The launch ceremony was broadcast globally. Billions watched as the massive vessel broke free from its construction cradle. The Defiant's engines ignited, filling space with a controlled fury that pushed the massive warship forward. Cheers erupted from every corner of Earth as humanity's defender took flight. Maya stood on the bridge, feeling the subtle vibrations through the deck as the ship's systems came fully online. Her crew worked with practiced efficiency, each person knowing their role in the complex dance of operating an interstellar warship. "Engineering reports all systems nominal," her XO, Commander James Chen, reported. "No relation to the Admiral, but equally dedicated to the mission. Weapon systems are green across the board. Point defense grid is active." "Very good," Maya acknowledged. She touched a control on her command chair, opening a channel to all decks. "This is the captain speaking. For 5 years, we've prepared for this moment. The Cathari thought they could contain us, limit us, treat us as prey to be penned in our own system. They're about to learn how wrong they were." She paused, looking at the determined faces of her bridge crew. "Every person on this ship represents the best of humanity. Our strength isn't just in our technology or our weapons. It's in our spirit, our determination, our refusal to bow to threats or limitations. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of our entire species." The Defiant accelerated smoothly, heading for the edge of the solar system, where they would initiate their first faster-than-light jump. The ship's sensors probed the darkness ahead, searching for any sign of Cathari observers. "Navigational coordinates are set," the helm officer reported. "FTL drive is spooled and ready." Maya took a deep breath. This was the moment. Humanity's first deliberate venture into potentially hostile alien space, not as explorers or diplomats this time, but as warriors defending their right to exist among the stars. "Execute jump," she ordered. Space twisted around the Defiant as the FTL drive engaged. In a flash of controlled quantum displacement, Humanity's greatest achievement vanished from the solar system, carrying with it a message for any who would threaten Earth. Humanity was not prey. Unknown to the crew, their departure was being watched. In the darkness between stars, automated Scytheri sensors detected the human warship's jump. Signals raced across vast distances, alerting the alien empire that their prey species had done the unthinkable. They had developed technology that should have been beyond them and built a warship that rivaled the Scytheri's own vessels. The game was about to change, and the galaxy would never be the same. The HSS Defiant emerged from its fourth sequential jump, the massive ship's quantum sensors immediately scanning the surrounding space. They were deep in unexplored territory now, following the trail of Scytheri patrol routes mapped by Earth's stealthiest probe drones over the past 5 years. Captain Maya Patel studied the tactical display, her dark eyes reflecting the holographic star map. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that filled the bridge. "All systems nominal after the jump sequence," Commander Chen reported. "Hull integrity at 100%. Weapon systems primed and ready. No signs of structural stress from the consecutive jumps." The ship's AI, Iris, projected additional data onto the main viewport. "Detecting traces of recent Scytheri activity in this sector, Captain. Energy signatures consistent with their patrol vessels. Estimate they passed through here no more than 6 hours ago." Maya nodded. They were getting close. The Defiant had been designed to hunt, and now they were on the trail of their prey. The irony wasn't lost on her. The so-called prey species had become the predator. Multiple contacts. The sensor officer suddenly called out. 3 Scytheri vessels just dropped out of FTL. Destroyer class, similar to those that attacked the Meridian. Maya's posture straightened. "Battle stations. All hands to combat positions. But do not, I repeat, do not fire unless fired upon. Let's see how they react to our presence." Klaxons sounded throughout the massive ship as crew members rushed to their stations. The Defiant's weapon systems came fully online, power flowing through circuits that had never been used outside of testing. The Scytheri ships approached in an attack formation, their angular hulls bristling with weapons. But they held their fire, seemingly confused by the presence of a human vessel so far from Earth. "They're scanning us," Iris reported. "Their energy readings suggest they're charging weapons, but haven't activated targeting systems yet." "Open a channel," Maya ordered. "Let's see if they're willing to talk this time." The communications officer worked his console. "Channel open, broadcasting on all frequencies they used during the Meridian incident." Maya stood from her command chair, her voice clear and unwavering. "Attention Scytheri vessels. This is Captain Maya Patel of the HSS Defiant. You attacked an unarmed research vessel and murdered its crew. You called us prey and demanded we stay in our system. We are here to demonstrate how wrong you were." The response came in the form of energy beams lancing out from the Lid Scytheri ship, but the Defiant was ready. Its advanced shields, incorporating technology reverse-engineered from studying the Meridian sensor data of the attack, absorbed the blast without strain. "Return fire," Maya ordered calmly. "Target their weapon systems only. Let's show them what humanity can do." The Defiant's main gun spoke for the first time in actual combat. A hyper-accelerated projectile, guided by quantum targeting systems, struck the lead Scytheri ship with surgical precision. The alien vessel's primary weapon array exploded in a spectacular display of secondary detonations. The other 2 Scytheri ships opened fire, their energy weapons splashing against the Defiant's shields. But humanity's warship had been built for exactly this scenario. Its point defense grid activated, filling space with a web of interceptor fire that knocked incoming missiles out of space. "Their weapons are ineffective against our shields," Commander Chen reported with barely contained excitement. "The improvements we made based on the Meridian data worked perfectly." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Target their engines. Let's leave them stranded here to think about their choices." The Defiant's secondary weapons opened up, precision strikes disabling the Scatheri ship's propulsion systems without destroying the vessels. Within minutes, all three alien ships were drifting, their main systems offline. "They're broadcasting a distress signal," Iris reported. "Long-range communications attempting to alert their fleet." "Let them," Maya said. "That's exactly what we want. Security teams, prepare for boarding operations. Let's see what we can learn from their ship's computers before their reinforcements arrive." As teams of heavily armed Marines prepared to board the disabled Scatheri vessels, Maya couldn't help but feel a sense of grim satisfaction. The aliens had expected to find easy prey. Instead, they had encountered a humanity they never imagined, resourceful, determined, and more than capable of defending itself. But this was just the beginning. The real test would come when the Scatheri realized the full extent of humanity's evolution from prey to predator. The galaxy was about to witness a demonstration of human ingenuity and determination that would reshape the balance of power among the stars. The data retrieved from the disabled Scatheri ships had been worth far more than Captain Maya Patel had hoped. Their computer cores revealed not just tactical information, but the location of the Scatheri's primary fleet base in this sector. More importantly, they discovered why the aliens had been so quick to dismiss humanity as prey. They had done the same to dozens of other species, containing them within their home systems, harvesting their resources when needed. "They're not just bullies," Maya said during the emergency command briefing. "They're parasites. They maintain their dominance by preventing other species from developing interstellar capabilities." The Defiant hung in space at the edge of the Scatheri's primary system, its advanced stealth systems making it virtually invisible to the alien security grid. The tactical display showed dozens of enemy warships moving in standard patrol patterns. "The Scatheri fleet is mobilizing," Iris reported, projecting new data onto the briefing room's holotape. "Long-range sensors detect at least 30 capital ships moving to cut off our potential escape routes. They're taking us seriously now." Commander Chen studied the tactical projections. "They outnumber us significantly, but they've never faced anything like the Defiant. Their tactical doctrine is based on overwhelming less advanced species. They don't know how to fight an opponent with comparable technology." Maya nodded. This was the moment that would define humanity's future among the stars. "Deploy the quantum buoys," she ordered. "Let's prepare our battlefield." The Defiant's launch bays opened, releasing dozens of small, seemingly innocuous devices that quickly cloaked themselves. These were humanity's secret weapon, quantum field generators that could temporarily alter the laws of physics within their area of effect. "All hands, battle stations," Maya's voice echoed through the ship. "This is what we've trained for. The Scatheri think their numbers guarantee victory. Let's show them how humanity fights when everything is on the line." The Defiant dropped its stealth field, its presence announcing itself to the entire Scatheri fleet. The reaction was immediate. Enemy ships began converging on their position, weapon systems charging. "Multiple targeting locks," the tactical officer reported. "They're coordinating their fire patterns." "Activate quantum field network," Maya commanded. The buoys they had deployed came to life, creating overlapping fields that altered the very fabric of space around the battlefield. The Scatheri fleet's first volley of energy weapons bent and twisted, their carefully coordinated attack disrupted by the quantum irregularities. "Return fire. Execute attack pattern Sierra 9. The Defiant moved with impossible grace for a ship its size, its advanced engines taking advantage of the quantum fields in ways the Scatheri couldn't comprehend. Its main guns spoke repeatedly, each shot finding its mark with devastating precision. 3 enemy capital ships exploded in rapid succession, their shields useless against weapons designed to bypass them through quantum tunneling. The remaining Scatheri vessels attempted to adapt, but their rigid tactical doctrine worked against them. "They're trying to surround us," Commander Chen observed as the enemy fleet split into smaller groups. "Exactly as expected," Maya smiled. "Iris, initiate Prometheus protocol." The quantum field suddenly shifted, creating corridors of altered spacetime. that the Defiant had been designed to navigate. The massive human warship danced through these corridors, appearing to teleport from one position to another, its weapons striking from impossible angles. The Sk'thari fleet fell into chaos. Their formations broke apart as ships tried to target the Defiant, only to find themselves firing at where the human vessel had been moments before. Some shots meant for the Defiant ended up hitting other Sk'thari ships, their coordination completely disrupted. Enemy flagship detected, Iris announced. They're attempting to coordinate a retreat. Not this time. Maya's voice was steel. All power to main gun. Target their command and control systems. The Defiant's primary weapon charged to full power for the first time in actual combat. The shot, when it came, seemed to tear a hole in reality itself. The Sk'thari flagship's shields might as well have been tissue paper. As their flagship broke apart, the remaining Sk'thari vessels began to retreat in disorder. What had started as an overwhelming force had been reduced to scattered survivors, running from a single human warship. "Hold position," Maya ordered as her crew cheered. Broadcast on all frequencies, she stood from her command chair, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's determination. "This is Captain Patel of the HSS Defiant. Your fleet is broken. Your tactics have failed, but we are not like you. We do not destroy those weaker than ourselves. Return to your homeworld with this message. The era of treating other species as prey is over. Humanity stands ready to protect those you have oppressed. Your choice is simple: adapt to a new reality, or face extinction yourselves." The remaining Sk'thari ships fled into FTL, leaving their ruined flagship and scattered debris as testament to humanity's victory. But Maya knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was changing, and humanity would help shape its new future. 1 month after the Battle of the Sk'thari Fleet Base, the HSS Defiant approached the homeworld of the Nilari, one of the species long oppressed by the Sk'thari Empire. Captain Maya Patel stood on her bridge, watching the beautiful blue-green planet grow larger on the main viewport. The Nilari had been one of the first species targeted by the Sk'thari, their budding space program crushed centuries ago. Now, as the Defiant entered orbit, their primitive detection systems tracked the massive human warship with a mixture of fear and hope. "We're receiving a transmission from the surface," Commander Chen reported. "They're asking if we've come to enforce Sk'thari dominion." Maya activated the ship's external communications. "People of Nilari, I am Captain Maya Patel of the human starship Defiant. We come not as conquerors or oppressors, but as liberators. The Sk'thari fleet has been defeated. Your people are free." The response was immediate. Celebrations erupted across the planet as the news spread. The Defiant sensors detected the deactivation of the Sk'thari suppression facilities that had kept the Nilari confined to their world. "Launch the technology packages," Maya ordered. The Defiant deployed dozens of satellites containing carefully selected scientific and technological data, enough to help the Nilari rebuild their space program without overwhelming their society. This scene had repeated itself across 7 different worlds in the past month. Each species the Sk'thari had oppressed was being given a chance to reclaim their destiny among the stars. But it wasn't charity, it was strategy. Admiral Chen's hologram appeared in the briefing room later that day, joining Maya and her senior staff. "The Sk'thari response?" she asked without preamble. "Just as we predicted," Maya replied. "They've withdrawn to their core systems. Our quantum buoy network detected their fleet movements. They're consolidating their forces, but they're also facing internal strife. Some of their colonies are questioning the Empire's fundamental policies." "Good," Chen nodded. "And the coalition?" Maya smiled. The coalition of free species had been her idea, an alliance between Earth and the liberated worlds. Each species would develop at its own pace, but they would stand together against any who tried to suppress their right to explore the stars. The Nilari are the 7th species to join. Their scientists are already collaborating with teams from 3 other member worlds. The Sk'thari's greatest mistake was keeping their subject species isolated from each other. Together, They're advancing faster than anyone predicted. The meeting was interrupted by Iris. Captain, emergency transmission from Coalition Intelligence. Scatheri diplomatic vessel approaching the Nilari system under flag of truce. Maya exchanged glances with Admiral Chen's hologram. This was unexpected, but not unwelcome. Move to intercept. Let's hear what they have to say. The Scatheri vessel was small, clearly designed for speed rather than combat. It came to a stop at a respectful distance from the Defiant, and a transmission followed. The alien that appeared on the screen was unlike any Scatheri they had encountered before. Older, wearing elaborate robes that marked it as a high-ranking official. I am Speaker Vextel of the Scatheri High Council. We request dialogue. Maya raised an eyebrow. The last time your people attempted dialogue, they murdered an unarmed crew. Why should we trust you now? Because you have shown us something we thought impossible, Vextel replied. You broke our fleet not through overwhelming numbers, but through innovation. You freed our subject species, but did not take our place as their overlords. You have demonstrated a strength we did not know existed. The strength to show mercy. It was a start, Maya thought. Not redemption, but perhaps the beginning of change. Very well, Speaker, we will talk. But understand this. The galaxy is changing. The age of predator and prey is over. Either your people adapt to a new way of existence, or you will find yourselves alone in a galaxy united against you. As the diplomatic discussions began, Maya couldn't help but feel pride in how far humanity had come. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger. They had been called prey and became protectors. Most importantly, they had proven that true strength lay not in domination, but in the ability to unite others in the cause of freedom. The Defiance mission had evolved. It was no longer just humanity's sword and shield. It was a symbol of hope for every species that dreamed of reaching the stars. The galaxy had indeed shuddered when humanity's warship first entered alien space, but not for the reasons the Scatheri had feared. It marked the beginning of a new era, one where the strong would protect the weak, where cooperation would replace domination, and where every species would have the chance to forge their own destiny among the stars. As Maya looked out at the Nilari homeworld, watching the first of their new satellites take orbit, she knew that humanity had found its true purpose. They had not just survived first contact, they had transformed it into something greater than anyone could have imagined. The stars that had once seemed full of threats now held the promise of alliances, discoveries, and a future brighter than any single species could create alone.